Adesso ci sono, se alzate la mano c'è la cuffia perché adesso intervisto Marc Eckert, CEO di Bultaup, dovrebbe... Ah, eccolo, buono. Yes, please.
You know, in times of convenience, we gain time. Soon, little devices will ask us, when do we want to eat? What do we want to eat? And, you know, suddenly there are drones flying and bringing us food in our homes. So the question is, what do we do with the time that we gain? We introduced a system which, besides the product and space that Bultaup always stood for, we add a third dimension, which is time. When you talk with world-class chefs, you learn that they can work in a kitchen for 6 hours without energy, but they can't survive for 10 minutes without water. If you have ever been in a sushi bar, the experience in a sushi bar is not the serving of the sushi, the experience is the preparation. In the past time, when we talked about kitchen, we talked about the fireplace. But water is much more important. We use the different states of matter, of water, to enable human communication. We offer a platform where we ritualize time. We talk about cooking as a communicative act. You appreciate the food, but also the time you spend together with your loved ones. The preparation of food is what really is the magic.
Okay, very nice. Marc, I'm wondering, in a world which is very fast, I mean, we are running, everybody's running the food that we are running, we eat very easily. How you can promote the quality of life, the culture, in that, as you said in your video, and in your, products?
You know, the lady from Amazon was of course, very interesting. And to be honest, I don't think so much about design. I don't think so much about furniture. I don't think so much about sales or distribution. What I really think about is Amazon. Not in terms of distribution or in terms of sales, but in terms of how Amazon changes the way that we think, changes the way that we behave. I think, you know, many are afraid or having fear of Amazon, or many are saying, okay, Amazon, of course, we all know Amazon changes the world, and not only Amazon, but also Google, Facebook, you know, this whole digitalized company. So, and they will change the world. But I see a huge opportunity. That's a challenge, but I also see a huge opportunity for us when we understand that it's not the either or, you know, it's not that, it's not the quantity or the quality, it's not the digital or the analog, it's not the fast-moving consumer goods and the slow-moving consumer goods. It's, you know, we tend to think in either or categories, but I think the beauty is in the contradiction. The beauty is in the, as well as in the, what the Japanese call you know, or the Chinese, this yin-yang principle. There's no night without a day. There's no dark without a light. There's no black without a white. There's no masculine without feminine, of course. So I think you react in times like that that you don't see, you know, those times of digitalization as an opponent, as an enemy, but you say, okay, what are people really longing for and looking for in those times? We all use Amazon, we all use this, you know, Facebook, Twitter, that stuff. But the more we use it, the more we have a deep longing for a human communication, for a good glass of vino bianco, you know, looking into our eyes and have a good talk. And this is what in this movie was portrayed, that we are living in times of convenience, so we are gaining time. But the question is, what do we do with the time that we gain? And what we do in the time of what we gain is human communication, is human resonance. I have time for you, you have time for me. We are sitting at the table, we are enjoying a good pasta and we are enjoying a glass of wine, but it's not about the pasta and the wine, it's not about the food, it's about our communication, it's this human resonance. And I think the answer is to be very human. We have to, and not trying to play more quantity and be more digital and be more of that. But I think it's also that we say we again have trust in ourselves. There's an American rapper, a US rapper. His name is Kanye West. And you know, you read this stuff and you think about, and you read about Kanye West and you think about Bulltop, okay? So Kanye West has written a song, and in that song there's a line saying, I want to crowdsource my self-esteem. Unfortunately, the lady is not there anymore from Amazon, but the point is that he's right. We are living in times where we tend to crowdsource our self-esteem. We see our self-esteem in the amounts of clicks, in the amounts of likes, in those virtual worlds, you know,
Black
where you
Mirror.
say, I like you, I have 300 likes, I share my Instagram, my Pinterest, whatever, you know.
Sure.
So we are living in times where we crowdsource our self-esteem and get our self-esteem by the amount of likes and clicks and whatsoever on my Facebook account. And I have an 8-year-old son, and I don't want that my 8-year-old son lives in a world where he crowdsources his self-esteem and he takes his self-esteem by the amounts of clicks, or that he pretends to do something or to be something what he's not. So the key is really to go back into ourselves, to have trust in ourselves, to accept ourselves as humans in our vulnerability, in our good sides and bad sides. And at the end of the day, it's just, you know, I open my very Protestant German soul, be open and say, hey, let's enjoy time. Let's enjoy the time together, and I respect you because I'm only happy when you are happy sitting at my table. And I don't want to be the richest man at the cemetery. At the end of the day, it's not about the moments of quantity. At the end of my life and the end of the day, you are thinking about those few moments of quality. And those few moments of quality are always moments that you joined with others. You forgot what you eaten and what you drank, but you never forget the company you had. And you enjoyed your times, and you enjoyed these times with others. And you are happy. Why? Because others are happy in your company, in your home, sitting at the table, and, you know, just appreciating the time.
So this is, I would say, a magnificent and a gorgeous description of your philosophy, is it? Of Bultau. That's why, but...
Yeah, okay.
I would say so. I understand it perfectly. But more than this, you need to, you know, to get markets, to understand people, and the people lives in that black mirror of likes and clicks. How you can work on that?
To show them examples, to give them places.
Okay.
To give them places where you don't necessarily, now we've heard that today many times, where you don't think about transaction, where you don't try to sell something.
Okay.
But to think about places where you offer a sort of, let's call it platforms, where you offer possibilities, where you offer opportunities, where people feel what you believe in. It's not about what you say, it's not about what you write, it's not even about what you do, it's always about how you make people feel. So we see the next step in retailing, not so much in the transaction world, you know. Of course, at the end of the day, communication is transaction, everything is transaction, but it's more in a world where we have our values, we have our convictions. There's a nice Italian word, postura, great word. So where we have a postura, a conviction, we believe in something, but then we try to show places where this belief is materialized, you know, where we create places where people have exactly that experience, so that it's not with their brain that they say, okay, understand, it's with their heart and with their soul, where they say, at the end, yeah, that's it, that's it. So this is very complicated, because we tend to live in this quantity, high-speed, digitalized, globalized world, but the more we live in, the more we see the beauty also in the reduction to the core, to the essence.
Which are the market, the people who understand better this way of life that you underline?
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah, of course. I envy you. I mean, it's the Germans. You know, there's this, what I call this Maranello or Maserati experience. So when you go to Germany and you visit a German factory, it's always about features, features, features. You know, when you visit, for example, Maserati or Ferrari, with all 5 senses, touch, taste, sound, sight, smell, you understand, you feel what Italy is. This is where you know, where I envy you, where in Italy is so strong.
What do you think about our business sector and the furniture sector? I mean, from your point of view, and I mean, it respects this tradition?
I think Germany and Italy is pretty much, it's the same story. It's the same story. I think German companies and Italian companies, German brands, Italian brands, understood after the Second World War. And this is why Italy and Germany became world champions in exporting goods. Why? Because Italian brands, Italian companies, as well as German companies and German brands understood that, for example, the Chinese, the Americans, now the Indians, they can copy everything. They can imitate everything, even design. We heard it today. They can make products not only cheaper, but also better, because they have the same machinery. Where Italians and Germans and also French or the Europeans as a culture really are good. And this is why we became, as a small continent, the world champions in exporting goods, was that we understood to export culture. So we understood that products always derive out of culture. So whether it's the Italians with the Italian way of living, you know, this red wine and 5 senses and this limbic, and also the Germans, they have their sort of culture, you know. So we understood that we export culture, and culture the Chinese, the Indians, whoever cannot imitate. They can imitate products, they can imitate design. They can never imitate this Maranello feeling, the culture.
You can put culture in the furniture. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
You can feel it. You can.
Culture in the furniture itself. I think. No, yes, you can feel it. You can feel it when you touch it, when you see it, when you see classics, when you understand heritage, when you make the connections between Scandinavia, Japan, Italy, Germany, when you make the connections, there's something, maybe you can't explain it in words.
Sure.
But you feel a culture, you feel something where you say, this is, you feel the skills. It's not the product as a status symbol, it's the skills, the status skills.
But somebody would say that it's not enough, because you need financial, you need business plan, you need finance. And
yes, everyone has that. Yeah. But you need that?
I'm asking you.
Well, what you
How is your company?
Financially?
Yeah.
We have
At the end of the year, you have to
Yeah.
you have to see how it's going.
absolutely, absolutely. So we have family company. I
Yeah,
have to
sure,
say.
sure.
No
I
private
know, I know.
equity and that stuff.
I know
so
that.
so we have the luxury,
Sure.
and we are thankful for that. We have the luxury.
That's why you can say all the things you
Of
said.
course, yes, but but not only to say, but also to do, to
Sure,
think
sure.
independently, you know,
Sure,
and really think about not what is the effect on the next quarterly report, but what is the effect in 3 or 5 years. And when we talk about Amazon, when we talk about the impact of digitalization, when we talk about what comes next, because you cannot reinvent a kitchen. A kitchen is a kitchen is a kitchen since 1920. The original Frankfurt kitchen. So you cannot reinvent the kitchen as a product, but what you can is to understand how the people live in the 21st century and the movements and the developments that are going on. And for that, having the luxury to think long term and think about what is the effect of a decision, not tomorrow, but say in 2 years.
That's something that's a big similarity between Italian companies and your company, because the family companies can think about that, but maybe you can invest less than your competitors. You can be less present in the markets. You can spend less in the digitalization. You can spend less in advertising. I mean, it's not a break on your success.
I think the growth and also the earnings at the end of the day is always the result and not the cause. So when you think about how to become a $1 billion company, and then you start making a business plan, and then you think about how can we grow? Can we grow organically, or shall we grow by acquisition? Then you try to buy turnover in the market, or you buy sales. Then you play on discounts, then you enhance the complexity, because the retail partners always want to have more options, and more options. So complexity is rising, earnings are decreasing. I think at the end of the day, it's really about not doing mistakes and not running and chasing the goal, meaning growth.
Is that? Yeah.
It's the growth is the result, but the cause is really to say, what do we believe in? And is that what we believe in? Can we convince not only our workers in our factory, but also our retail partners and of course the end customer? And then it's a cycle. It's at the end of the day, it's conviction, and then also it's a personal conviction. And then I think the growth or turnover, whatever, is really the result and not the cause. I've seen so many examples where you really try to create turnover, or you try to create growth by going horizontally, you know?
Yeah.
And we try to acquire this, and we try to do this, and then we are thinking horizontally. I think that at the end of the day, growth is always when you think vertically. The Americans say, know your sandbox. Know your sandbox. Know what you do, what you can do best, and then, work
On
vertically.
Vertically. The last question is about you, Marc. Did you study business administration or philosophy?
Worst.
Worst. No.
Law. Law, I'm a lawyer.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, don't
Avocado.
say it. We cannot close with
Avocado.
that. No, really. I don't believe you. Thank you, Marc.
Okay, thank
Nice
you
to
very
meet
much.
you.
Thanks.